Hey, everybody.
Hey. It's that time again.
It's that time. Welcome to another episode of the Enter Code Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Ryan Welch, along with Triple J, John Jefferson Jr.
What up, people?
We hope you guys are doing well. It is... What is today?
Today is...
Sunday evening?
Is it Sunday? No, today's Monday.
It is Monday.
It is Monday.
It's Monday, June 29th, 2020. We got some news to talk about. We got some good stuff to talk about. So hopefully you guys will be able to be entertained and learn something and enjoy the show. As always, if you have any feedback or any questions or any topics you want us to discuss, feel free to hit up our socials on Twitter and on Facebook. We're at EnterCodePod. And then on Instagram, we're EnterCode Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So we'd love to hear from you, especially your feedback and just any show topics. For today, we're going to be talking about just some more news that hit us this last week.
Mm-hmm.
It's been another pretty eventful week. Not as eventful as I would say last week. Last week there was a lot going on.
Still got a little something to talk about, though.
That's true. Well, to start the podcast tonight, there was a monumental achievement that was completed by John on Saturday. It only took him 2 months to do, but
I mean, that's it?
That's it. But John finally beat Final Fantasy VII, the remake.
Oh my gosh, it was so good. But I'm so confused.
So, John, why don't you start us off? Talk about your thoughts. What did you think of the ending? Where do you think episode 2 will go? And I don't know, what are some of the questions that you had about the so 100% clear ending, obviously?
Right? Well, I feel like it's okay to talk about it and not worry about spoilers because everybody else has beat it. I'm just kind of late to the game. But
that's true. If you have not beat it, just stop listening for right now. We'll try to give you the heads up and when we're done spoiling it.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler alert for Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yes.
Okay.
Don't hate me afterwards.
You've been warned. All right, go.
So yeah, like playing the game, it was good. There were some things that kind of bugged me, like I couldn't control Red 13. Like it was cool to see him in there, like the detail on his fur. Like even I was telling you when we were playing, like it looks so good.
Very well done.
I mean, that's probably because of my pro, but whatever. Shout out to PlayStation. What? But just the gameplay and like the combat like was cool. Like hearing that music come in for Sephiroth, like the updated One Wing Angel theme, and seeing a little homage to him, the little black feathers, and trying to remember, okay, what actually happened and what's new, what's from the original, what did they add to the remake, and the whole spirit thing, or what did they call them?
Whispers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it was like they kept interfering, and it was like, are they with you? Are they against you? There were times that they would help you, and then there were times that they were just like, no, get out of the way. But it was nice to see that Biggs is still alive.
Yes.
I'm sad Jesse's not, because Jesse, her little crush on Cloud was awesome.
Right.
Good little flirtation. I wish I would have done more with that little side mission.
That's true.
But I can go back and play now. I can choose which chapters I want to go back and recomplete.
There we go.
Yeah.
And where's Wedge?
He's still alive. He's okay.
Is he?
I'm assuming so.
He was drugged back, and then there was a window crash. So
They wouldn't kill him, though. You can't kill Wedge.
You'd say the same thing for Jesse.
I stand corrected. I don't know. It's one of those unanswered questions. Like,
right.
What happened?
That's right. So thinking about the original game, and there's been enough with this remake where there's been, it feels like a lot of added content with the Whisperers, with them interfering, well, not interfering, but them making sure that destiny is fulfilled, and I guess your party at some points are going against destiny, and that's why they're attacking. That's kind of what I got out of it. So where do you think they will go with episode 2?
Well, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day because he was like, okay, when you beat it, let me know your thoughts. Like, I want to talk to you. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay, I have all these questions. He's like, haha, what's your questions? And we were just kind of like speculation and kind of like what you and I were talking about, because one of the big things in Final Fantasy is like kind of the catalyst for character development is Aerith dies. Mm-hmm. And we were kind of like, what if she doesn't die? Mm-hmm. What if they have that new spin on this? And I was like, would you do that though? And would that take away from the game if she doesn't die? Because her dying is what helps propel Cloud to be Cloud.
Yeah.
And, you know, be the hero that we need in the game.
Yeah.
But can he still get to that point if she doesn't die?
Right. There's a point in the second to the last battle. Again, spoilers if you didn't get our warning ahead of time. So in chapter 18, second to the last battle, you're fighting this huge monstrosity thingy. I don't even know what it's called.
Destiny monster.
Destiny monster, and you're fighting it. And every time you defeat a certain, like a specific aspect of it, it shows a potential, like they worded it as in it's a potential future.
Yeah, potential timeline that could happen.
Right. So when they said that, and then they showed little hints of when she dies.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where we're coming from in terms of will they still have that in the game? I think they would add it. Like it's one of those things where it's so instrumental to the
it's so
game. You have to
iconic
do
to
it.
that game. Like that's one of the things you remember is like Final Fantasy VII. Oh, she dies.
Yeah.
I remember vividly. I can't even talk. Vividly, like Sephiroth coming down and just like stabbing her, and she still just has a smile on her face, and like she knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And like there's little things in there, like when they were showing like you kill a monster and it's like that little flashback. It was footage from the original game.
Mm-hmm.
So like seeing Red 13 running with this tribe, seeing when like the comet is coming to Earth, and kind of like we were saying where you see Aerith is like her body is laying in the water where, you know, Cloud was just kind of letting her body float.
Yeah.
And I was just like, ooh, goosebumps. And I was like, ah! Like Rhino test, like I got a little squeamish.
You did.
Just kind of like a
Yeah.
schoolgirl.
Yeah. There's little noises
Yes.
they made, and that's fine.
It's the fanboy in me. What can I say?
Never playing the original. This was my first look at it, just from this remake standpoint. And so, yeah, it was interesting seeing those little hints and seeing Zack.
Yes.
That's his name. And it looked like it was a flashback, but having that weird flashback of him going into the city with Cloud as the party was leaving, and then there was that moment where Aerith and Zack were passing each other.
Yeah, and it was like that little... Zack had this little smile, and he's like, he saw Aerith, and Aerith just kind of paused and was like, huh.
Yeah.
So it was like, were they like in the spirit world? Is that why they had to go through that portal and like... Is that where they went to? Because they were like, okay, we're leaving. And the whole time Barrett's like, Marlene! Which is his daughter.
Yeah.
I'll be back. And like you saw this little...
it was Marlene!
Right. Oh, sorry. You gotta do the bass.
You gotta do the bass voice, yes.
Yeah. Barrett's awesome.
Barrett is
I
awesome.
think Ryan has a new appreciation for Barrett now.
I do. He comes off strong in the beginning. Just a real strong personality.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, we're gonna have 40 hours of this guy, huh?
Right?
Okay, cool. But no, he definitely has a really good arc, and you know, and ending wise, yeah, he's definitely cool.
Yeah, he's a good guy. There are some times where like when he starts talking, I'm hearing like a Southern Baptist, and I'm just like, testify, brother.
The avalanche.
Yeah.
Protecting the earth.
My children, come with me if you want to live. Amen.
Maybe they'll put him in a church. I don't know.
I mean, they could. I'm surprised that's not a meme right now.
Make one.
I ain't got time for that.
No one has time for memes. And after like one day, they are, old and you have to have new memes.
Mm-hmm.
That's the beautiful part about memes.
Right.
Now, put on your prediction hat.
Okay.
It took 7 years since they announced episode 1 for it to come out. 5 to 7 years. I think it's 7 years. Like I'm thinking 2013. That's when they first announced it, and everyone freaked out.
They first announced it when like PS4 first came out.
Something like that, and it was in conference, and everyone was just dead.
Yeah.
Like it slayed. It was an incredible announcement.
Yes.
So how long do you think they will need to make episode 2?
I feel like it's going to take forever. I've heard that they've already started production, working on part 2.
Good.
If I had my choice, I would say don't make it 3 parts. Like, put 2 and 3 together. Give me 2 discs. Like, I don't care. I'll play through it all.
Mm-hmm.
So that way I have the complete. Because, they'll make money regardless. But
Right.
Worst case scenario, I think we're looking at probably another 3 to 5 years for the other one to be completed.
Okay. I think you're right. And it'll obviously be PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna have like a PlayStation 4 like copy or version of it.
Probably not. I mean, is PlayStation 4 even going to be supported by that?
I don't know. I hope so. Just as me, wanting to be cheap and not.
Well, I mean,
if I could leave my PlayStation 4 and keep it for a lot longer and just play these new games on the PlayStation 4, I would be a happy camper. But if they force me to upgrade, then I'm going to be cranky.
Well, I mean, look at how long it took for them to stop supporting PS3.
Yeah, that's true.
And I mean, how long did it take for you couldn't do Netflix on your PS3 anymore?
Yeah, it took a while,
Yeah.
I think. Well, that'll be good. And then, more money. It's just if you're making two versions, the only reason I brought it up is if you make two versions of the game, it's going to take longer.
Yes.
So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Overall, awesome game. Episode 2 is going to be great. I think there's going to be a third part, like in episode 3.
I know. I just don't want to wait. I want to finish it all.
Well, they just added so much. They added so much content based onto this remake. So part of me is like, dude, they're going to do it.
Is it bad that there are some things I wish they hadn't done?
Say it into this mic right here. What were some things you didn't like? Do you think it was too much? Too much whispers?
Well, the whispers were cool.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't mind that, but I felt like there was too much unnecessary running around in some parts.
Yeah.
I did really appreciate that they added more character development for the resistance fighters for Avalanche. So, Jesse, Wedge, and Biggs.
Yeah.
Seeing more of them was awesome. Because if I remember correctly in the other one, you do the first mission and then they're kind of gone.
Oh, okay.
If I remember correctly. It's been a while since I played that. So
Yeah.
you guys can correct me in the comments later or whatever and, lynch me. It's cool.
Oh, wow.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
I didn't say that.
Whew.
Wow,
Okay.
That escalated quickly.
Moving on.
Angry Letters. There we go.
There you go. Gosh.
It's late. My brain doesn't work. I'm sorry, Mama.
It's okay. It's all right. Your mama forgives you.
Yeah. Some other things I wish. I don't know. Some of the side missions were cool, and some were just kind of like, well, that was kind of lame.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted Golden Saucer. The Golden Saucer is where you go to the arcade.
Oh!
Yeah.
Was that not in...
That was not in episode 1.
Oh, okay.
And, that's one of my biggest memories of playing the game as well.
Yeah.
Hearing that music and just going there. The summons were really cool. Having the fat chocobo come in there and rolling on people was great.
Yeah.
And just seeing, there were some I think I missed. I think I didn't get Bahamut and Leviathan, so obviously I have to go back and play.
Yep.
I'm gonna take a break for a minute because that was a lot of game to get through, and I have others I need to beat, like God of War.
Oh, you're never gonna do it. It's fine.
So one day I'll just have you play and I'll watch you.
Okay. I'll sit through it in a weekend. I'll beat it.
Power through.
There you go. How? I've asked you this before, but I can't remember what you told me. Looking at episode 1, how much game time in the original did episode 1 take up? Because in the original,
the first disc,
right?
Ooh.
So getting to the point where episode 1 ended, how many hours into the original would kind of match up?
I think.
Like
it's different.
4 hours?
It's I'd say about 3 or 4 hours. Because
Okay.
in the remake, you're on average about 40 hours.
Yeah.
To try and do everything.
Okay.
But that's way expanding 3 hours. I think if I remember it for the first disc.
Okay. I think if we getting an idea of that time kind of makes me question if it will be more than 3 episodes.
Oh, don't do that to me.
No, I know.
Stop it.
I don't want to have the finale when we're in our 50s. I would hate that. But
That's right around the corner.
jeez, maybe for you.
Shut up, Grandpa.
Give me a few years, all right? Holy cow. I can just see them dragging this out just because they've committed so much to the additional content.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't want to drop it off in the second episode, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
I want
I'm
to stay
very
hopeful,
curious.
but I don't want to. Yeah, I'll be let down. I know.
Right. Well, enjoyable. If you haven't played it yet, definitely do. It's
Borrow from a friend, play
Yeah.
their copy because they're not playing it right now.
Oh yeah, and believe it or not, I know it seems like there's a million games a minute that comes out, but that's get contender for game of the year. I'm assuming.
I think so.
I hope so. I hope so. It is.
It's competing against Last of Us 2.
Oh yeah, that's gonna win all the awards, I'm sure. That one's definitely an interesting one. That one set a record for I think it was 4 million copies sold of Last of Us, which is an incredible achievement.
Is it like the fastest selling Sony game?
Yeah, which is awesome. And keep in mind, I bet you there'll be some kind of upgrade for PlayStation 5.
Oh yeah.
And so that will sell also a ton of copies because the game looks gorgeous anyway. Now, can you imagine it with
enhancement?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people will buy that up again. So yeah, we'll keep. Don't forget about Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
definitely a game.
Show it some love.
Show it some love. It's been on sale roughly, but on sale like $10 off.
And hey, save where you can nowadays.
That's
the
right.
The economy is hard.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Well, there's some other news that we wanted to talk about that happened this week. For me, one of the biggest stories that we had was the announcement from Disney that Splash Mountain was going to get a re-theme. So, John, you've never been to Disneyland.
Nope. I know, sad existence.
Well, hopefully we can fix that. Well, if COVID would go away, then we can fix that. But socially distanced people, goodness gracious, wear your masks. Suits. Man, cases are going up. They had to. That was another bit of the news as well. They had to postpone their announcement of when they're going to open up, which makes sense. Cases are going up again. So, yeah. But they're going through with Disney World, opening that up in July still for some crazy reason. Anyway, back to the main story. Splash Mountain. What do you know about Splash Mountain? Do you know anything about Splash Mountain?
Is that the one where you sit on the log and get splashed?
Yes, absolutely.
I think I saw that on Boy Meets World back in the day.
Probably. It's been and you can look up some pretty funny videos. They had this Splash Mountain rap.
Oh.
Yeah, you should look it up. It's very entertaining. Very 90s. Just very, very, very 90s.
Okay.
But in a good way. In a good way. It's that's kind of funny. It may have been a little commercial they played on Disney Channel or something like that, trying to get hip with the kids. But do you know what the ride is themed around? Have you ever heard of Song of the South?
I've heard of it. I don't know that I've ever seen it.
Okay. Probably the majority of Disney fans out there have not seen it. It's something that came out 60s? 50s? 60s?
Back in the day.
Back in the day, and it's kind of the ugly stepchild of Disney, where the copies, you can't find a copy anywhere. You can probably find a pirated version that you can watch if you want to. There's just some racial undertones.
Okay.
And it's a bit awkward nowadays, especially. One of the things that you can watch on Disney Plus is the Imagineering story. So it shows how they made how they made Disneyland, how they made Disney World, kind of goes in depth on some of the rides. Well, with Splash Mountain, one of the reasons why they chose Song of the South is because they had this other show at Disneyland. Wasn't doing very well, but they had a bunch of animatronics, and there was a whole bunch of animals, gators and
like how you said that.
Gators. Mama, there's a gator in the house. And
there's dinner.
Shout out Monsters Inc., by the way. Classic movie. So they have all these animatronics, and they were thinking, the Imagineer who came up with the concept was thinking of, you want to try to make this great ride. You don't want to spend millions of dollars, so can we repurpose these animals? And they did so, where the majority of the ride has these animatronics of gators and swans and all kinds of different animals.
Okay.
And so they just repurposed it, had some of the characters from Song of the South, and you go through the ride, and the big drop is the bad animals are about to throw the rabbit down into this thorny thicket.
Okay.
So the ride is, I would say it's iconic. It's usually one of those favorite rides where, especially on a hot day, you wait in line to go on Splash Mountain, so you can get cooled off, and it's fun. the music in it's catchy, and everybody's got a laugh in place. It's a fun ride. It's just still based on that ugly stepchild of a movie that, they don't want to talk about, that they're kind of sweeping under the rug. It's just like, oh, this is not great. We need to not talk about this. So the fact that they're going to retheme it into Princess and the Frog, I think is brilliant.
Oh, yeah, that fits with that movie.
It fits really well.
It's such a good movie.
It's such a good movie. The songs are amazing. Mm-hmm. They can use new technology to make it look really, really impressive.
Oh, yeah.
And I still think that they could use some of the animals in there.
Because you got those type of animals in Louisiana.
Exactly.
You got them gators. You got birds and crickets. And
exactly. Foxes. All kinds of animals.
Yeah.
So it really makes a lot of sense. The timing of it is interesting because obviously with everything going on right now, a lot of people on social media just in an uproar. How dare you change my favorite ride? But also thinking, oh, they're changing it because of all the social injustice going on. Mm-hmm. So Disney was very smart, and they made sure to put in the press release that this has been in the works for like a year or more. They've been working on this for quite a while. And it's true, the rumor's been around for a long time of them changing it into something. I think recently that's when they started talking about Princess and the Frog being a choice. But it's been on the minds of many people, and lots of rumors of like, okay, they're going to change this at some point. What are they going to change it into? So, huge news. I'm excited. I will miss, I do get into that mode sometimes, very nostalgic, where I miss old rides and old theming. Tower of Terror was a Twilight Zone theme before they changed it into Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout. So that one hurts. That one I'm still really bummed out at.
Yeah, see, I'm not affected because I've never been.
You've never been.
I don't know what I'm missing.
And the thing is, the new ride is still super entertaining.
Okay.
It's so much fun. During the part where you're dropping, they're blaring 5 different songs. Like they every time you go on it, you could have a different song, but it's all based on the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack, which is phenomenal.
Nice.
So, you're going on this ride and Jackson 5's playing, and it's just like, oh, this is so much fun. It's a great ride, but part of the coolness of Tower of Terror was just the Twilight Zone, kind of eerie, creepy.
Creepy vibe.
Yeah, I loved it. You go into the queue, which is like the line system, and you see all these cobwebs, and the theme worked so beautifully. So it's just fine. I just have to go to Walt Disney World if I want to ride that.
You said like it's a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing. I just need...
Let's go right now.
Oh, right now?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. I'm going to need, a big old mask in order to go on that. But there was some other news that we want to touch on in this episode. During this past week, there was a rumor that a Harry Potter RPG was coming out. John, are you a Harry Potter fan?
Is that a trick question?
I don't know.
Do you know me?
Yeah, well, sometimes. Sometimes you surprise me.
Do I?
What do you like about Harry Potter? Or what gets you excited about this type of video game?
Well, I don't know. I guess to me it's kind of like, when they did Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah.
Of being a Jedi and using the Force and lightsaber duels. So with this, it's... Okay, you go to your favorite house, so or you Gryffindor, Hufflepuff, Ravenclaw, and Slytherin.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nerd.
Wow.
Sorry. Keep going.
I will say I listened to the audiobooks, and that kind of ruined the movies for me.
Really?
Yeah, because there's so much more that happens in the book that you don't see in the movies.
Oh, okay. Yes. The books are way better than the movie. Yeah.
This is why I don't do this.
Mm-hmm. Well, just imagine what the video game's going to be like.
Yeah.
How much...
I'm going to just get lost in the world.
Yeah, and that's what I'm hoping. It's going to be an actual brand new, it's going to be a world. They're not going to try and, bring Harry in there. Right? Harry Potter.
Or maybe, Harry's the professor now.
Maybe.
He's the new Dumbledore.
That's right. Well, shout out Avalanche Software. It's a Utah-based development company who's working on it.
Oh, hey, there you go.
That's right. We want to come interview you.
Let's go.
We're down the street. We're 30 minutes away.
This could be big. Let's give you a shout out.
Yes, exactly right. So that'll be an interesting game. So
I gotta ask.
Yes.
Which house would you go to?
Oh, brother, I don't know enough about houses to make. Yeah.
Are you not a Potter fan?
I mean, Potter's fine. I've never read the books.
But you've seen the movies.
Sure.
So you don't know the houses?
Oh, I don't know.
Bro.
There's a Huggle.
What?
And a Slither.
A Muggle?
And I don't know.
What?
Huffle. A Huffle. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
There's a Raven.
I can't talk to you.
Well, I don't know.
How do you not know this stuff?
Dude, there's so much I don't know.
Oh my goodness.
I'm sorry. All right? I'm
You
sorry.
see what I'm working with here, people?
Look. Harry Potter is a staple. I never read the books. Yes, I watched the movies, but I've watched them maybe a couple times. And I guess I don't know enough about them to know which house I want to be in. Does it even matter, besides the color, what houses they are?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, moving on.
Wow. We're gonna talk later.
We'll have a show. We'll just have John teaching me all about Harry Potter, which would be amazing.
Let's go.
So that's gonna be coming out. It's not gonna be, I don't think, until the rumor is 2021 or 2022. So we're a bit away, a bit of a ways away. So, but something to look forward to. An RPG could be kind of interesting to just level up what kind of, I don't know, maybe what kind of magic you practice.
Right.
And yeah, maybe being in a certain house matters.
I don't appreciate the tone of what
I
you
just
said,
don't know what it does, what it matters. And no one's told me. You still haven't told me. Slytherin's the bad guys. I know that.
Slytherin's the bad guys. Yeah.
But what about, I mean, what's the...
You're a Hufflepuff.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. I went there.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently I'm offended because that's a bad thing.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a bad thing? Okay,
What?
good. See,
No.
I know something about Harry Potter.
No, Hufflepuffs aren't bad. You're just a Hufflepuff, that's all.
Okay.
Look it up.
All right, compliment. I'll take that as a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
So some sad news for only for John and I. I guess it didn't really matter, but Microsoft stores are going to be closing permanently. So during the shutdown, the original shutdown in March and April, Microsoft would shut down its stores like so many other retail stores. But they decided to keep them closed and just shift directly online. According to multiple articles, the store workers that were manning the stores transitioned to working and doing online service. So whether they were answering calls for customer service, they were taking orders. So no one's being laid off. They're just going to be closing the physical stores.
That's good, at least. I mean, I will miss going to like their events and getting the swag, but
That's right.
times are changing.
Yes, they're changing. And I guess for me, my wallet will be happy because whenever I went to the Microsoft store, just things were purchased.
I mean, you can
And
still
so-
buy it online, so...
Nope. Can't do it.
Yeah, right.
I can't.
Mm-hmm.
My internet doesn't work. No one believes me, huh?
No.
No, you can
Liar.
still get your custom controllers, and you can still get, they just had some older consoles that were tempting, to buy that wasn't available online, but our local one in City Creek,
Mhm.
they had stuff, and yeah, they had events that were fun, and the staff was very knowledgeable, very just friendly, super, super friendly. So yeah, it's going to be kind of a bummer, kind of a bit of a shift, but just, the new normal. I think that just might be the new normal.
I feel like
where
that's how like a lot of things are going now. Like, especially during all this, the amount of business that like Amazon and all those guys are doing.
Yeah, and that's a big competitor now, right? Amazon is huge,
Mhm.
absolutely huge, and it will continue to be huge. Somehow he made more money on this shutdown, which is a whole nother problem with our system, but that's fine.
It's America!
America.
Word I'm not going to say because I'm trying to keep it kid friendly.
Okay.
But if you've seen Team America, you know what I'm talking about.
That's right. We want to try to keep this as PG as humanly possible.
Yeah.
So last week, John, there was a couple broadcasts for game-related broadcasts.
Yes.
We saw footage of Avengers,
Yes.
which is being developed by Crystal Dynamics, who made the recent Tomb Raiders.
Which are so good.
Good games. Very good games. So we saw more about what that game's going to be like, and then we also saw Cyberpunk. We had a brand new trailer, brand new gameplay, and also pretty cool how during all of this, during this shutdown, they were still able to get journalists to preview like for a 4-hour
Yeah.
portion of the game, which is cool. Let's start with Avengers first.
Okay.
Let's talk about them. Did you watch the broadcast? And if so, what were some initial thoughts that you had when seeing the footage?
Let's see. Now I gotta play it back in my head because I was trying to watch it while I was at work.
Oh yeah, that's hard.
Right? Let's make money, but also watch nerd stuff.
That's right. Put it on the. I'm telling you to put it on the big screen.
Yeah, right.
I
My
think
coworkers already look at me enough for being a nerd.
Oh,
Yeah, you're a dork. You like Star Wars.
whatever. They'll look again. They'll be watching, just hidden away.
Right?
That's right. They can't let anyone know.
That looks cool, but don't tell anyone.
Well, the main thing. I'll go first. The main thing that got my attention was the fact that it feels very much like Destiny, where you have main stories that you play, and you also have multiplayer stories that you can do that aren't really part of the main story. But it's going to be one of those things where you have to grind and you have to build up your character and customize, and there'll be new heroes that'll be free updates, new missions, and things like that. So it definitely just feels like a game where, yes, you have a core base, but there's single player aspects, there's multiplayer aspects, and all you're doing is really playing things over and over again as you're trying to get better powers, better abilities, better costumes.
Grinding.
Lots of grinding. So I don't know about you, but I who has time for that? I bless those who will be able to play this for a long time. I fell off of Destiny long time ago. It's not a bad game. I love Destiny a lot. But
a lot of memories of that.
Yeah.
And a lot of dying and
yeah.
an angry wife because I couldn't pause the game, and then she was like, "Hey, come say goodnight," and I'm like, doing a raid.
Well, and
okay, guys, just let me die.
Well, and the fact that if you take a 2-month break, I mean, you're behind so much.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
So that's what I feel like what's going to happen with me. I don't know if I'm going to get it opening or day one. It launches September 19th. That's going to be for me the start of school. The school year. So I'm probably not going to get it right away. Just having a game where you grind and grind and grind and grind is not as appealing to me as, and look, we've been spoiled by the Spider-Man game, so I'm going to keep bringing it up. Every time there's a Marvel game, I'm going to keep bringing up Spider-Man. Yeah. And so we were spoiled by a game that was a solid length, not too long, not too short, full of content, amazing story. Spider-Man was. I mean, if God of War didn't come out that same year, Spider-Man would have been Game of the Year.
Oh yeah,
for
easily.
Sure. So seeing something like this, I'm not as excited as I wanted to be. Where if it's just like a single player, let's just sit, let's play the story, let's enjoy it. But I see why they're doing it. There's nothing wrong with this model of game. Mm-hmm. It's just not as appealing to me as it is for
some other people. It's not your cup of tea.
No, it's not. And my word, I hope they fix the hair. I'm just the okay.
Of all things, you choose the hair. Okay.
Have you seen the hair on all the models of the characters? The hair is just not great. It just looks a little weird and stringy, like Thor's balding, and it just looks off.
Huh.
Dude, don't judge me. All right.
That's what I do.
Don't.
That's what friends are for.
Wow. I guess that's a Hufflepuff move. How was that? Was that good?
You're gonna hold that over my head.
Was that? Whatever.
You're gonna go home. Honey, John called me a Hufflepuff. She's gonna be like, what?
Watch, well, or at least my son will know. He'll be like, psh, shaking his head. I'm like, whatever. So that's just kind of my gut instinct on it is I want to like the story. It's about them fighting AIM and MODOK, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, because MODOK's not normally a main villain.
It's not. So my gut reaction is there's going to be another villain that's secret.
Red Skull.
Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe Thanos. Hydra makes an appearance.
No, Thanos.
Thanos?
No, I'm just kidding. They won't bring him in.
No, they won't.
No.
So we'll see how it goes. I hope it does well. I hope the gameplay works. I'm just not excited to grind for another game. But that's just me. Any thoughts from you about it?
I mean, from what I saw the gameplay, like the hair didn't bug me.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm not that critical.
I'm gonna bring up a picture.
Oh, stop!
And
it.
I want you to look at
While
it.
he's doing that, I'll share my thoughts. From what I saw, like the gameplay and the combat looked good. The story was interesting. Is like, you know, they had a huge fail, and it's like kind of trying to bring back the Avengers, and you know, what would mess up, and where we set up, and what happened to this person and that person, and can we work together as a team?
Mm-hmm.
Does the world really need the Avengers?
Mm-hmm. That's actually a very good point.
Only if they let me join.
Okay. What powers will you have?
I don't know yet. Just give me the super soldier serum.
Oh, okay.
I'll be Captain America's sidekick.
Oh, okay. There we go. Well,
just don't call me Bucky.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna try. No, there's no guarantees. Absolutely no guarantees. What were your thoughts on the Cyberpunk presentation?
Cyberpunk looked like a lot of fun. I'm still kind of bugged that it's all first person. Like, I wish it would have been like a third person game.
Okay.
I get it because first person kind of works for it because it's like fully immersing yourself in that world.
Yeah.
I like that. Oh, geez, he's showing me the hair. Stop it.
Does this? Come on. Does that look good to you?
Okay, Miss Marvel's hair looks weird. Black Widow's hair looks okay.
Okay.
Oh, geez. And
Okay.
we're looking at Thor.
Look at Thor. Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
they still got time to fix that.
Oh, here's Hulk.
Ugh. That does okay.
Thank you.
Wow, I don't want to play now. Thanks. Anyway, Cyberpunk. Yes.
You lost a sale until you can fix that hair.
How dare you?
Gosh,
Well,
I'm ridiculous.
I've seen a lot of people like kind of ripping that game apart, just like visually how it looks.
And visually, mostly it looks fine. You know, it's hard again when we were spoiled by
Yes.
Spider-Man and how that game
It
looks.
just set the bar.
It's just different developers with different art styles, and they're doing
It's
different
okay.
things,
You
and
gotta
it's
experiment.
okay.
It can't be the same thing over and over. I get
Exactly right. So anyway, sorry, I
that.
interrupted you.
See how you threw me off. But the thing that I think I like the most about Cyberpunk is, you know, a lot of like these role-playing games, you pick your backstory and that's it. Where this one, you actually live the backstory. So if you want to be, you know, what is it? You're working in an office
Mhm.
or you're in the streets,
Yep.
something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of seeing how that progresses. And one of the things that I took from it is how you build your character is key. You can make someone that's like pretty quick and stuff, but if they can't take any damage, you're probably not going to last long in a fight.
Yes, that's right. I mean, the first and foremost, this is an RPG.
Yes.
So how you build, how you level up, that kind of thing is key. So, you know, the first person shooting is probably not going to be what you would expect from a Call of Duty.
No.
You know, the driving is not exactly what you're going to expect from, you know, like a Forza game,
Mhm.
you know, for example. So yeah, first and foremost, it is an RPG. So if you get a chance, check out the previews. You know, all the previewers had some interesting things to discuss. Overall, I think most of the previews from journalists were positive.
Yeah.
Just, you know, there's some things that, you know, they noticed the bugs. They noticed the things that why CD Projekt Red decided to delay it until November. They, you know, there's polishing that needs to be done. So I think that part's kind of cool, where it's like, okay, these guys are telling the truth. They do need more time to polish. Like, they could have probably, you know, released the game already. But then, do you want to have to deal with all those bugs and deal with
The rage.
Yes, exactly. Might as well wait and get it right, or at least get it to a point where the developers are happy with where it is. I think there's a lot of high expectations. But one thing I wanted to mention, besides the footage looked really cool, it's going to be a long game. I think there's lots of choices you have to make and lots of leveling.
Every choice will matter.
Yep, and the fact that you know, it'll be interesting to start over and try different builds and see which ones, how they match, and how, you know, some are better, some are worse than the others.
Mhm.
I think what's really interesting, especially with this new normal now with COVID, is they were able to get this preview in a cloud form where they had a developer on a call or on a stream with the journalist. and the developer was able to walk them through some aspects. But again, it's just another thing, another bit of evidence where, do we need to have a station at E3 to go and play the game and try it? I mean, obviously you can't, it's going to be really hard to mass demo a game in this way, but they were able to get quite a few journalists and have different blocks of time, and some, they're in Europe. The development team, CD Projekt Red, is in Europe. So them staying up all kinds of hours of the night trying to help out different time zones
and them and their dedication.
Right. So it's just, I found that really kind of cool how the technology allowed them to do this preview. And so I'm excited for that. But other than that, though, the footage looks great. It's going to be a very it'll be mature rated. That's for sure. There's going to be some blood.
I mean, we played Witcher. We know what's going on.
There's going to be quite a bit of things to look at. Next thing we wanted to talk about, where there were some announcements in terms of, well, speaking of Cyberpunk, they announced during there that there's going to be an anime based on the Cyberpunk world. Mm-hmm. Not necessarily based on the game, but it's going to be that environment. So if it's a new story, Netflix is producing it. It's going to be coming out 2022, I think is what they announced.
I think so, yeah.
But you were reading some other games that are going to be coming out. Well, sorry, not games, but cartoons based on these game properties.
Well, some cartoons and just shows in general that I saw, but I mean, we're getting another season of Witcher.
Mm-hmm.
There's Cuphead that's coming to Netflix. Everything's going to Netflix.
How do they have this much money?
I don't know.
I don't understand.
Work for them.
That'd be awesome. I don't know. You know what was funny? One of the jobs I saw online looking for a job to move out here to Utah was they were looking for Netflix drivers to deliver movies.
Oh wow!
Remember back in the good old days?
Way back when?
Yeah, when I think they still do disc service, but
really?
Anyway, I think so.
Why would you want that?
I don't know.
It's all digital at your fingertips.
Right?
Just rent it.
True. Yeah, I don't know why. Maybe they did finally get rid of it. But anyway, back in the good old days. So yeah, Netflix has been around and has, I mean, I don't know. I still don't understand how they have all these productions in, going on, especially without ad revenue. It just doesn't compute in my head. I don't understand how they make money. But whatever. Bless their hearts, however they're doing it. Good for them.
But some of the other ones I think I saw was The Last of Us and Halo.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, Halo's gonna be a Showtime series.
Is that okay?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's right. Last of Us is gonna be developed. I think Naughty Dog is going to have a hand in it in terms of how it's produced and written and stuff. Well, I would hope so. Just sometimes how those deals work, where the property gets sold, and
then it gets ruined.
Yeah, and so you're like, okay. So few more video game properties being turned into cartoons, and apparently Netflix cartoons. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how that goes. But those are some with the Cyberpunk broadcast. That was one of the things that they announced, which was pretty cool. A couple more things because we're running out of time. There were some rumors going around about the Xbox Series X and the fact that they're going to have a smaller version of the console. I guess is the best way of putting it.
Yes.
The senior editor at The Verge, his name's Tom Warren. Here's what he tweeted out today, actually. The code word for this new system is called Lockhart. So if you ever hear Lockhart, this is what they're talking about. They're talking about, we've seen pictures, we've seen information about the Xbox Series X, and this is supposed to be, I thought, it was supposed to be a smaller, less powerful version, which is interesting, and also a cheaper price point. So, you don't have to go all out and get the Xbox Series X. You could get the Lockhart instead and save some money, for example. So anyway, Tom Warren tweeted this out. To the Lockhart will hold back next gen crowd. Because, there's some of those that think, Lockhart's not going to be next gen. Here's what he tweeted out. Lockhart CPU is faster than the PlayStation 5. Lockhart supports ray tracing. Game developers have been building PC titles for multiple GPUs for decades. So, long story short, this system that they haven't even announced yet sounds like it's going to be on par with what the Xbox Series X is going to have, and apparently for PlayStation 5. So it's kind of interesting. So
I mean, I'll take cheaper any day.
Right. I think that's going to be, and the rumor is August. They're going to be announcing more about Lockhart in August.
Okay.
So here's the Xbox timeline, which I find interesting. No show this month. I know they were going to try to do a show every month, but I think with everything going on, honestly, I think they needed more time to prepare for the July show. So they're not, because when they did their show in May, it just, the production value wasn't quite as great as it could have been. So, there was no broadcasts this month. July, Xbox is going to be showing off games. What are launch titles? What's coming? What's first party games that are coming out? So that's going to be, July is going to be a huge show to see. We'll get more footage of Halo Infinite, for example. We'll hopefully find out what some of their properties, what their studios that they bought, what those properties are going to be. So, there's always that rumor of Fable going around. There's a rumor of Perfect Dark being remade.
Never gonna happen, never gonna happen, never gonna get it.
Yes, sing it. Keep going.
No, that's all I got.
Oh, fine. Well, music interlude over. So that's going to be interesting. And then August is going to be Lockhart focused, or hardware focused. And again, rumor, so take this with a grain of salt, that we may hear about pricing in August.
Tell me.
Not just Lockhart, but with the Xbox Series X. So I don't know. When did we do our price prediction? Was that episode 1 or episode 2?
Probably 1 or 2.
We'll have to go back. So probably an episode in August, we're going to be talking about these prices. We're going to look back at episode 2 or episode 1. I can't even remember which one it was, and we'll see. Were we right? How close we were?
Right.
We'll see. We'll see
Put
how
some
it goes.
money on it.
Yeah, because you want to think. I think Sony's going to wait for Xbox to make the first move with their price.
Oh yeah.
So as soon as Xbox does, then I think shortly after, who knows, couple weeks, maybe a month, we'll hear about PlayStation 5 pricing, things like that. Then we'll find out how much is this going to hurt our wallets.
It's going to hurt so bad.
It really will. It really will. So that was some pretty interesting news where this system that was supposed to be the not as powerful one, it's rumored to be just as powerful as the PlayStation 5, if not more in some areas. So we'll see. You know what? Games matter. I think there's a lot of people that just doesn't care. If you want the best of the best, you get the high-end PC.
Yes.
And you keep upgrading that. So I think with consoles, it's just, is it going to look nice? Are the games going to be good? That kind of thing. So anyway, we'll see. We'll have a war about Xbox versus Sony again as soon as prices come out.
Of course. That's part of the fun.
That's right. Well, the last thing we wanted to discuss in terms of a news story is some interesting fallout with more and more streamers and PR people and just more speaking out about wrongdoings of people in the industry. People either sexually harassing or worse. So some of the fallout that's been interesting this week has been a very popular streamer by the name of Dr. Disrespect. He was permanently banned from Twitch. So some background for Dr. Disrespect. He is a streamer that has, I want to say, 4 million subscribers or something like that. He signed an exclusive contract with Twitch a while ago. He normally plays first person or just shooter games. So Call of Duty, Warzone, played PUBG, he tried Fortnite and he, poo-pooed all over it. One of the things that he is known for is he's just kind of this ridiculous looking character where he has this mullet wig, big old mustache, these sunglasses, and, talking about firm handshakes with everyone in his champions club. And it's just, he's a character. He's a character. He has also made some headlines last year where he was suspended from Twitch for a little bit because he was filming inside of an E3 bathroom. So he's an interesting character, and I think there's a lot of people that are kind of turned off with his persona and how he interacts with people and things like that. Like, I'm not a fan. That's just me personally. But what's been interesting about this is the timing of it, where Twitch hasn't responded with a reason why he was permanently banned. And it wasn't even like a suspension. It wasn't, he messed up the terms of agreement and he's suspended for a week. This is a guy that Twitch paid millions to, who has millions of followers, millions of subscribers, and he is gone, which is very interesting. This happened on Friday, if I remember correctly, and he did tweet out something that was kind of interesting, if anyone cares. It's always funny talking about these types of situations because, who cares about streamers? You know what I mean? But one thing he tweeted out on Friday was the fact that he said that Twitch didn't give him a specific reason for being suspended. So I thought that was interesting. John, you've never watched this guy, right?
I don't watch streamers, no.
Okay.
Watching someone play a game is kind of not entertaining to me, but that's just me.
Yeah, this is what the guy looks like, by the way. It's a very, almost like hokey, 80s action hero type thing.
I mean, it is a sweet mustache.
It is a sweet mustache. And I'm telling you, this guy is very popular. So I don't know. I think one of the issues, especially with the timing of it, is, okay, with all this movement of people finally coming to terms with what's happened to them, and they feel comfortable speaking out against atrocities that's happened to them. Mm-hmm. It was interesting timing of, I don't think anyone mentioned him by name specifically during the speaking out movement so far, but the timing of it is very interesting.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's news. That's just, it's kind of hit the Twitch world. It doesn't matter. I don't know. I think it matters in terms of, if this guy is really secretly a dirtbag, then good riddance. Mm-hmm. Glad he's off. I think it's, if he did nothing wrong and Twitch just permanently banned him for no reason, I think there's a story there, but right now it's,
It's not like there's stuff we don't know.
Right. And it's kind of interesting where I guess I don't know why they wouldn't give him a specific reason unless there was some kind of, some kind of charges or something like that, some kind of case. Like if there's legality issues that they were dealing with where maybe they can't legally say what he did. It's just, you violated these terms, you're done. So, and he just, again, he brings subscribers and he brings viewers to the platform.
Yeah.
So just, it's interesting. Do you, I guess, for me, in the year of our Lord 2020,
Wow.
I know, right? There's so many streamers out there. Is there content that you do watch? There's a lot of people that are pretty upset about this. They watch him on a regular basis and they support him and his work on Twitch. And so, is there anybody that you watch? Mostly YouTube, right? Is that who you kind of focus on?
Yeah. But the thing that interests me though is watching someone is watching artists that I try to take tips from so I can attach that to my art or learn new tricks. Mm-hmm. But that's what interests me. Not to knock anyone that likes watching people play games. Sometimes I'll watch little snippets of people doing the fundraisers for kids.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Extra Life. Mm-hmm.
Extra Life.
Yep.
Doing that kind of stuff. That's kind of cool. Just kind of seeing the support they get and watching a speed run. That's kind of what speaks to me. Just seeing the tricks that they come up with to plow through this game that took me half my childhood to beat.
I get irrationally angry with that. I think for me, I do enjoy streamers. I watch friends of mine when they're streaming, to try to support them as much as I can.
Right.
The Prime, the Twitch, no, not Twitch Prime, the Amazon Prime free sub that you can give out every month. Mm-hmm. I think that's really cool with Twitch, that you can at least give, if you're a Prime subscriber, you can at least give like a free sub and to friends that might be streaming. It's interesting with this where I do enjoy streamers. I don't necessarily watch a streamer that plays the same game over and over again. So I guess in this aspect, besides his personality being a little off-putting, he plays these first-person shooter games and, plays, Warzone, for example, and the only time I will watch someone play over and over and over again is just if it's a buddy of mine.
Yeah.
So I have a good friend of mine out in California, Drew, who plays Warzone, and he's pretty good at it, and it's entertaining to watch. So I don't mind watching him play a match over and over and over and over again. But I guess I don't necessarily seek out streamers that do the same thing.
That's fair.
So if they play different games, if they play games that I have never played before, I'll seek those out and I'll watch, and I do get my impressions from them sometimes where it's like, oh, this game looks fun, I want to buy it. So I think they do play an interesting role. It's just, something like this, I'm just curious what the real story is, because that's...
Give us more details.
Yeah, I know. I mean, that's millions. I mean, that's like millions of dollars that they spend signing this guy to an exclusive contract. And so it's like, something must have happened where, you're just, that contract is null and void now, and that's just, you spent these millions, and that's like millions of people that are on your service watching him. So very interesting. There's still a lot of free agents from Mixer that haven't announced where they're going to sign. So it's all just, it's all crazy, man. There's so many things that are just so crazy.
Strange things are happening to me.
One of my favorite images is from, oh, wow. Why is that name escaping me? Oh, no. Always Sunny in Philadelphia. There we go. You haven't seen that? Okay. You need to watch it. It's super funny. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. See, I'm not going to make fun of you for not watching it like you made fun of me. So, anyway, there's this meme that is circulating from one of the episodes where one of the characters has this, like, wall of just conspiracy theories. And so that's what I feel like I've been doing this week, because I'm just so interested in, like, what happened. And, I'm just, like, going down these, like, weird Twitter threads and, like, oh, is this why? Oh, is this why? I mean, who knows? We don't know. And we may never know. But anyway, it's been fun. All right, everybody. That is our show for tonight, or this morning, or this afternoon, wherever you are and wherever you decide to watch this. We hope you enjoyed everything we talked about. We will be back probably not next week. I'm going to be out of town for a week.
Yeah, he's abandoning me, so it's okay.
And that's all right. I gave John permission if he wants to find a guest host. So if anyone wants to jump in and be a guest on Enter Code Pod, reach out to John, especially next week, and then he can film an episode if he wants to, or record an episode.
We knew what you meant.
Good. I know. It's late at night, man. I just mix up my words all the time. So that is all that we have, though. Thank you again so much for your support. Thank you for listening. Again, please reach out. Let us know if there's some topics you want us to discuss. If there's some feedback on these news stories that's been happening these past couple weeks. Anything that you want to add to the show, remember, you can add a voicemail on anchor.fm. Just search for Enter Code Podcast. There's a voicemail system that you can leave a voicemail that we can put into the episode, and we can, feature you that way. So if there's questions or opinions that you have, feel free to reach out and add it so we can add it to the show.
We won't bite your head off.
No, we won't. Just don't cuss.
Yes, that's all we ask.
Because I don't want to hit the button where we have to say it's explicit. But that's the only thing. Don't cuss. Otherwise, say what's on your mind. Talk about something that you want. Ask a question that we can answer. If you're not comfortable leaving a voicemail, make sure to go on our socials, on Twitter or on Facebook or on Instagram. Again, on Twitter and on Facebook, we are at EnterCodePod. On Instagram, we are at EnterCodePodcast. So we would love to hear from you. Any feedback, anything like that. So, John, anything to add before we officially end it?
Nope. Just wanted to say thank y'all for being our friend.
That's right. We appreciate all the time that you give us in listening, and we hope you're entertained. We hope that we give you something to think about. You know, it's hard to be too thought-provoking sometimes
or just take your mind off things and just get lost in our silliness.
Exactly. We just appreciate any and all support that you've given us. Since we will most likely not have an episode next week, we hope that you have a wonderful 4th of July weekend.
Stay safe.
Stay safe. I know you want to get out there with everybody and have, neighborhood block parties and fireworks and stuff like that, but wear your masks, keep your distance. Cases are going up, so
don't do anything I wouldn't do.
Oh, that's a lot.
Wow.
All right, we love you all. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.